Okay, hi everybody. I will try my best not to be long. If you're just joining, tag some friends. This is for my sisters. This is a women's only conversation that we are allowing the men in our lives, our brothers, fathers, sons, uncles, nephews, cousins, to listen in on. Shh, quietly, because you know what you can't learn if you're talking. So, this will be a good exercise. It's Women's History Month. It's Black Women's History Month. We just finished Black History Month, but every month is Black History Month. And we are celebrating women who came before us, who did phenomenal things, who lived phenomenal lives. And that started me thinking how, for some of us, I'm talking about me, and if it's you too, you can throw me some hearts up, or you can wave, or you can do something. For some of us, if we don't start living our own lives fully free, fully healthy lives, then 10 years, 15 years from now, there will be no women's history story about how we walked in our purpose, how we met our destiny, how we changed the course of the country and the world and the future because we did what we were supposed to do in the earth, because we neglected the one thing that has to happen in order for us to get all that other stuff done. We took care of ourselves unapologetically, consistently, reverently, the manner in which we deserve, recognizing that we might say when we're teaching our daughters or teaching a congregation or standing in front of people or wherever we have an opportunity to speak, we might say, we're the apple of God's eye, we're holy vessels, we're temples, and then we don't go to the doctor for years at a time. We don't make our annual mammograms. We don't go to dentist appointments. We don't work out. We don't eat right. We don't drink water. The temple, the holy place, the vessel, our brains. It's all like, if our mind, body, and spirit could sue us, it would be actionable. Got to speak in my lawyer speak, because that's the way I understand it. I know that if my body could bring an action against me, maybe not this year because I'm doing better, but a few years back, body would have had a case and body would have won. Body, yada, 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 would have won. If my mind, which I betrayed, I mean completely betrayed, like left and abandoned, could sue me, open and shut case. My heart, my spirit, if it could bring a case against me, I'd be lost. Somebody tag Yodi Tewelde and tell her I am live, so I can't talk to her right now. But she's welcome to come in, because I think she's in a time zone behind us anyway. So we would welcome her to talk about this subject. But in seriousness, what good are we really to others when we're not good to ourselves. We utilize every opportunity to make sure that every other person in our environment, in our immediate family, our church family, our extended family, our work family, we're taking care of everybody but us. The kids eat breakfast, but we don't. What's that about? We make sure that Johnny and Mikey and Ricky and Ralph and Susie and Connie and all them make it to their soccer, their volleyball, their basketball, their football, their track. Have we seen a gym? Do we even work out at home? An entire day, after a day, after a day, after a day, is spent on our service to those we love. Didn't we miss somebody? I mean, that's just word. Y'all can get with me or not get with me. But, we're commanded to love others as we love ourselves. So don't skip you, boo. I can't skip me. And call myself loving. Love God, love me, love neighbor. If you guys have been following me for any period of time, this is one of my favorite things to try to reiterate, and I'm going to get it out and then move on. Love God, love self, love neighbor. Love God, love self, love husband. Love God, love self, love children. Love God, love self, love pastor. Love God, love self, love job. Love God, love self, love mama. Love God, love self, love daddy. Love God, love self, love the rest of them, and all that, and so on and so forth. All that we're busy doing, showing up for and showing for. I don't know if you all are caught in that approval seeking, I'm so useful syndrome. Been there. That can be a mess. But it's love God, love self. You can't properly love neighbor, and neighbor is anybody other than you. There's no exceptions to neighbor. That's every other human besides you, the ones you birthed out of your body, the ones you married, the ones that ordained you, the ones that birthed you. Neighbor. They all come after you because you do not properly love them unless and until your loving self, or you can just improperly love them because you're supposed to love them the way that you love yourself. So ultimately, the neglect that you're serving up for self will show up elsewhere because you'll be empty, baby. It won't be that you want to neglect them. It'll just be that you have nothing left to give. That's all. Ain't no more. Full up, empty. Either way, you're like full up with issues, or you're empty because you didn't stop for any gas for yourself. I love you, yo. You're welcome to join because you know about this. But y'all welcome my girlfriend, my colleague, Attorney Yodi Tewolde. She's a superstar, and I'm so thankful for her. Um, and we've had these conversations, and I see so many of you all on here. And it's Women's History Month. Do you want to be a woman who makes history? Because you got to be alive, baby, to do that. Unless you've done all of your history making stuff already. And if you're still breathing, I would suggest not. You're not done. Even if you've done extraordinary things, you're not done. So if you're breathing, breathe well, love. Breathe like you were put here by a divine God that had something special in mind and put you in the way of a problem that only you can solve. That put you in the way of service to others that will be instrumental. Put you in the way of some joy and some happiness and some peace that you have not yet experienced because you take on everybody else's shit. Oh, forgive me, all first ladies who are on here. I love y'all. You take on the stuff of others. I couldn't figure out another word right then that would explain it. I meant that. You can't experience joy because of somebody else's pain. You have no peace because you have no boundaries. Your joy is fleeting, comes and goes because you won't make a decision about what your life is really supposed to be about. So, you know what? I'm preaching more than necessary. You get my point. God, me, you, and then the rest of those jokers. And those jokers are everybody we love. Everybody. We owe it to honor God who thought enough of us to put us here and put gifts, talents, abilities, experience, knowledge, suffering. Anybody other than me been through something? And let me tell you, this past week, I done had some body blows. Ugh, for real. But that's worth something. And so if that's going to be a testimony, I need to live to tell it. So we're talking about self-care because it's Women's History Month. That's what I'm really talking about. Women's history. And there are so many of these out there until I don't want you to think that, well, no, let me stop because I'm interactive. Everybody understand where we are so far. Give me some hearts. Let me see you because you can't amen. Holla back for my sisters. And then I will move on because I want to say where we're going for the next few days, weeks. I don't know. Self-care. Thank you for the hearts and the love. I love you back. There are so many different things that can be described as self-care. And sometimes we can go through the motions. And I don't mean just a clinical approach to mental health and whether you're in need of something therapeutic, whether you're in need of some medical expertise, etc., and so on. And you may be. And trust, I'm not downing it. But what I'm saying is there is a holistic way to look at what really is the best love, and that's self-love. And it's self-full. It's not selfish, because taking care of you, selfishness would be Me and forget them. Self-fullness is in order to give anything, I owe it to my creator and to my own spirit to feed me, to nourish me, to love me in a way that enables me to be healthy enough to give to those I love, in a way that enables me to be healthy enough to be on my own. Hey, single ladies, put your hands up. And not for a ring, boot, boo. Put your hands up because you're good. Is that all right? I don't want to step on any toes. Get your ring, boo. But I'm just saying, you can be good before that. You can be good through that. You can carry you through relationships, through engagement, through marriage, through divorce, through widowing. You can still have you if we walk through these steps. So I came across some mental health self-care wheel. It's just something that's good to check in with yourself. And there's so many of them out there. And a lot of them I've posted before. Welcome from India and welcome from everywhere. I'm sorry I did not do that this time to say welcome to everybody from wherever you're from. But welcome world. When you're looking at self-care, there are these categories, and there are some simple things that can be checked off that may be red flags, like if you haven't showered in days or weeks, don't feel like brushing your teeth, haven't eaten, don't want to take care of any of just your basic fundamentals of health. And it's not that you were always like that. It's not that you were slovenly. But it's that something is off with you and you're slacking in that way, that then if you're checking in with you, and if you have a chart, if you have something you can look at that's in your phone, that's a piece of paper, that's a sticky note on your mirror in your bathroom, then it can help you to stay on track, okay? So when you're thinking about self-care, I'm going to offer up to you over the next coming however many days, weeks it takes, because it's Women's History Month, right? So it'll take as long as it takes. But I'm offering physical self-care, psychological self-care, emotional self-care, spiritual self-care, personal self-care, and professional self-care. Let's do that again. Physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, personal, professional. That pretty much covers all our bases. But when you listen to those, it might seem like some are the same, and really they're not. Like psychological and emotional is two different things. Personal and spiritual, different things. And we need to be taking care of us in all of those areas. So let's just start with physical. And I would give you an overview of each of the areas, but then I'll just get off track. So I'm not going to do that. But they're all exactly, First Lady Shepherds, and they're all different. But let's talk about physical love. I can remember being a young mom Young, not that I started being a mom at a young age, but young being my start to motherhood and having babies, you know. And everybody in the house, like the husband, the babies, everybody eating but me. Everybody resting but me. Everybody having some amount of personal time but me. And I'm not blaming anybody else for that because it was nobody's fault. It was me. We have been conditioned many times, especially to Black women on here, because suck it up somehow gets branded in our hearts and across our spirits and in our brains as a mantra where we can't be hurt, we can't be in pain, we can't be suffering, we can't have needs. We just soldier on and soldier through everything, right? Wrong. And so I was doing that. And I was nursing a child and another baby that was on milk and another one that was just starting solid foods. And if you think about it, oh, God bless you, Pastor Venchard. Love you. I might love your wife more, but I love you. We hear all the time, those of you in church world, when they talk about babies, and I'll tell you, it's mostly men who say this, but they talk about children, when we're dedicating the babies and et cetera and so on, and they'll say that the baby came through you but doesn't belong to you. Now I get the point. I've offered my children up to God before they were even born. But hey there, babies don't just come through us. They don't pass through us the way water goes through pipes or through a faucet before it lands in a sink or a tub. God trusts us, women, enough to hold within our bodies another human, and for everything that human depends on to survive to come from us. Meaning, we give part of our life so that there can be life. When I eat, the baby eats. It's my food and his food. It's my water and her water. I'm taking the vitamins and getting the shots and doing whatever it is so that this other life that I am holding, harboring, nurturing, growing, it ain't just passing through. No. I'm life-bearing. That's womanhood. And when the child is born and then nurses, is still us keeping babies alive till they grow teeth. And my third baby, I gotta tell you, I feel like he nursed until he climbed up on my lap and said, "Give me some milk, mama." I mean, it really felt like that. And I was like, you're done. But we do that. And what about us? Our physical bodies. We'll deal with all the psychological ramifications, spiritual ramifications, emotional ramifications, loss of professional life, personal issues. We'll deal with all that later. But what about our physical bodies? and what we offer up, willingly, unwillingly, whatever, for the sake of another. And you don't have to have birthed a child out of your body to have that experience. There's so many women who give life to children that they didn't birth, to parents, to siblings, to communities. We share that nurturing, that self-sacrificing role in common. And ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean that's our best. That's our best stuff. I love us for that. It's just that we're sinning against God and ourselves when we do it at the expense of our own lives. And I apologize for being real straight with you about that, but that's what it is. It's sin. It's an offense against our Creator and against ourselves. We dishonor ourselves by ignoring our own very real needs. Real needs: laughter, sleep, healthy meals, exercise, friendship, professional outlet. Real needs. Y'all feel me? So let's deal with physical, because I feel myself getting real long, and I'm gonna stop. I am not going to allow myself to run long like I run long. I'm not doing that tonight, because I want everybody to be able to get this, and I'm going to post it. And Tasha, we are in Women's History Month and Black History Month and Black Women's History Month, and we are talking about how self-love is the best love and the things that we owe it to ourselves to do in the physical realm, psychological, emotional, spiritual, personal, professional, in order to honor our vessels. We might not be able to do anything with some things we've inherited about our minds. And our brain may be affected by that. Y'all know it's the difference between the mind and the brain, right? And the mind and the brain and the spirit. But I'm not going to go there. But we might be affected by those things, and we can't help it. So that's why we really need to do what we can about the things that we can control. Yeah? Okay. Physical self-care. Regular medical care. That's one. I'm sure I probably have told some of y'all, or I think I've posted it. If I didn't, First Lady Sarita Jakes invited me to come to speak to the women at the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas, maybe a couple of years ago. And I was telling a story about how I literally I thought I was losing my mind. And I may have been. I'm not saying that I was completely wrong. But I had been getting more and more fatigued, and it was harder and harder for me to think. And I don't know about the rest of y'all, but for me, if this brain ain't right, ain't nothing right. Like, we meaning me, myself, and I, depend on this brain to function so the entirety of the rest of my world can function. I could lose an arm before I can sacrifice this brain. Okay? That's just the way my hustle set up. Need this. So just the most rudimentary of tasks, like having to do a speech and it taking me all night long to get the hook right, to finish my research, to feel like I'm off book. I mean, things that, and I'm a preparer, so it's not like I'm not going to go through the steps, but it was taking for freaking ever. God have mercy. Even things that I knew that I knew that I knew, like parts of the Constitution or scripture in the Bible, just stuff that it was like, duh, 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 duh. Y'all, I got so scared of what was going on with me that I called my OBGYN and said, left a message saying, can I come in? And she, I'm not going to tell you who she is because she might not want anybody to know. She's public. She got public figure enough status. But it's weird. She would never call back same day. The office called and said, I called like 8 in the morning. They said, we have an appointment at 10. Can you come in? Yes. She said to me, after I gave all of my stuff, I'm like, look, I ain't never been one to want no medicine. I've never been one to whatever and whatever. But whatever this is, if I am losing all of my marbles slowly, I need a script. I need a shot. I need a whatever. Bring it to me. If I need to go see somebody, another kind of doctor, if you feel me, send me. I'm not afraid of it because what I cannot do is disintegrate. And this was like 3 years ago now, y'all. And I'm going to tell this whole story, which I can't believe I'm doing, but I am. And so she said, you know what, Monique, but before I do that, we're going to take some blood work. We are. We're going to take some blood work because the things you're describing, some of them, yeah, maybe you need to check in on your mental health. Maybe you do. But some of this sounds like something else. So let me just check some things and figure it out. And I'm like, okay, but I won't even remember that we did this blood work because that's where I am right now. She called me 2 days later and she said, Monique, how are you? I said, I'm feeling a little bit better. Thank you for the medicine. And she said, okay, but you're in menopause. I had been doing my annual physicals. The year before that, I wasn't even in peri. She had done blood work and she said it would probably be 4 years. But within the span of a year, and I asked her, I said, oh, I wasn't upset about it. I ain't want no more babies. Got enough. 2 boys, 1 girl. Can't have a horse. We're good. I said, Perry? And she was like, no. You're in menopause. At least 6 months in. So fatigue, memory loss, slower, lack of ability to concentrate, frustration, all of it. A life change. But let me tell you, if I had gone to her when I first started feeling not like myself, if I hadn't been so conditioned with the suck it up, suffering is normal, you got a whole bunch of other crap going on in your life, so it's probably just the whole bunch of other crap that's going on in your life. If I had at the front of my brain, it's not normal for you to not feel normal. You're usually in optimal health. And if you're not in optimal health, we should find out immediately why not. Months of agony could have been completely avoided because once we started treating, it was like, I went from like, I wish I had a brain back to some semblance of normalcy. So when you talk about regular medical care, it's not wait till your toe is almost falling off. It's not till the little bitty pain turns into a constant pain, turns into a knot on the side of your breast. It's not waiting and waiting and waiting on your dental care. Did you know that one of the reasons that women, especially Black women, are at higher risk of heart disease is because we do not take care of our mouths? Infection forms in our mouths from early ages into adulthood, and that infection drains and settles in our bodies. And so then we're suffering with heart disease because of a cavity that we didn't have the time to fill, or we didn't care enough about to fill, or we didn't have the finances to fill and didn't prioritize it to get the finances to fill. Is that really worth leaving our children motherless, leaving our husbands and partners, leaving our parents and friends? Because we just don't have time. So, regular medical care. And don't be too ashamed. Whatever the situation is, y'all, we got a new president now. The Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, the portal is back open until May 15th. If you do not have insurance, if you are currently unemployed, like so many millions of people during this pandemic, get what you need. If it's government medical care and you need that right now to stay alive, hunty, handle it. And don't let nobody make you feel shame about it, especially you. Don't shame yourself. The topic for those who are joining is not mental health. The topic is self-love and self-care for Women's Month, Women's History Month, because we want to stay alive long enough to make some history. So we're covering all of the areas that self-care involves so that we can do better, be better for ourselves and others. And I agree, sometimes it is fear, but what's that going to do? The knowledge really is power. We perish for the lack of knowledge. Ain't nobody ever died sooner because they knew something. Find out. Be proactive. Get in the game. Okay, so regular medical care, eat healthy. Now, I'm a proponent of the keto diet. I'm not selling anything. I don't advertise for anyone. It's just worked for me. Several years back, I had been working hard on back-to-back really high-profile cases and not taking care of my health and eating a whole lot more food than I needed every place I went as I traveled. And when I decided I wanted to strip all that down and get back to the body that felt good to me, that's when a friend and colleague of mine who had dressed a whole bunch of people for runways and who was really very good about staying healthy suggested to me that I send my body into some ketosis for a bit and then do an adapted keto diet from there out. And the first thing that she said do was drink a gallon of water a day, drink 16 ounces in the morning, drink 16 ounces in the evening, finish the rest of the gallon through the day, stick as much lemon as possible in it, maybe some mint. And if you got to put a little fruit in it, stick some raspberry in it or something like that. But finish your gallon in a 24-hour period. Stretch before you get out of bed in the morning. Drink the first 16 ounces before you get out of the bed in the morning so that you can get your body right, going from the horizontal position from the night into the day, get your organs resituated. They have fancy names for this stuff, but I promise you I know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to give you the speedy version. And then cut the junk, skip the white bread, skip the sugar, skip the fried foods. Those were never really my things necessarily. But just focusing in. I love steak. I'm a Texas girl. Don't need it. White fish, whatever kind of fish, whitefish, cod, haddock, things like that. Healthy avocado, spinach. Stick it in all parts of your diet. Things that would suppress appetite, like cayenne pepper. Just stick it everywhere. Turmeric. And watch what happens. So you can look it up. Halle Berry, a lot of other people who have been living healthy lives for a very long time will give information about that. And everything is not for everybody, but I can tell you, whether you choose keto, whether you choose a pescatarian diet, whether you are doing some form of a Greek diet, what they're going to tell you is saturated fats ain't your friend. Processed foods are death. Skip the fried foods as often as you can. Leave those sugars, those sweets alone. If you can't get it from fruit, don't eat it. Eat your fruit, drink your water. They're all going to say the same things because it's all going to boil down to the same things. It's different models for different people, but get in that lane where you're taking things into your body that honor it. And be honest with yourself about why you eat and why you drink. Like, once I got real honest with myself about why I needed an espresso in the morning and then 4 additional cups of coffee during the day, like every time I needed some energy to think, to do something else, I was putting coffee in. And once I figured out what my fatigue was about and why I had a lack of energy and all of that, I'm telling you, I can't drink a cup of regular coffee without the jitters now. My body does not require it. It just won't take it anymore because I get a good night's sleep, because I have enough energy, because my foods and my supplements are doing the job. So I drink decaf now just because I like the taste. I miss the taste of my coffee. And sometimes even that gives me a little, see what I'm saying? I'm going long. Let me move on. So eat healthy, regular sleep. I already talked about that. But if you're on here now and you're trying to lose weight, you need sleep. If you're on here now and you want better skin, you want to clear up your complexion, you need sleep. If you're on here now and you want more energy, you need sleep. If you want to perform better in your job during the day, you need sleep. If you want to do better with your workout, you need sleep. If you find yourself anxious and unable to focus, worried about things all day, you need sleep. Everybody doesn't need the same amount. But for somebody like me, I'm in the 5 a.m. club. So my body now, whether I want to or not, 5 a.m., something in me goes, and I kind of look around and then I'll force myself to go back to sleep. If it's a day where I don't have to get kids to school, I don't have an early meeting, I'm not trying to work out, whatever, I'll just try to at least till 6:30. But that, and there's scripture about, all of these things. in the morning I rise to meet you. There's magic to, and it is, sleep is magical and restorative. It was just coming out of my mouth, Summer. There's magic to that good night of sleep and then that early rising. And I don't know if you have a household full of people, just Negroes and Negresses everywhere, right? Being ahead of the curve, where again you honor yourself, journaling, meditating, praying, exercising, but sleep first. Like the way I'm up with y'all right now. I ain't got no business doing this. But the past 3 nights, I've been in the bed, like bath done, kids, everything done before 9:30. And I've been in sleep by 10. So I'm probably like oversleeped right now. But sleep can keep you alive and improve the quality of your life. Melatonin, that's natural. Our bodies make it. You might not have enough of it. Get your supplements, boo. It's not a drug. You can go to CVS and get it. Regular strength, medium strength, extra strength. Get in where you fit in. Take 1, take 2. Get your rest. Putting things in I'm dealing with women, in the bathtub to soak. Epsom salts with some lavender. Spray lavender all over your pillows. And these are things, guys, this ain't no well-to-do stuff. You can be in the dollar store, you can be in the CVS and get what you need. $10. Prioritize that $10 to drop in that 1 bath bomb of Epsom salt in your bathtub, getting you a little miniature size of some spray, lavender spray on your pillow so you can be smelling something good. See what I'm saying? Melatonin is kind of expensive. You and your girlfriend may have to go in on some melatonin. Get you a jar, just maybe like $13. I don't know, if you go on Amazon, you can probably get it cheaper, but y'all divide up those gummies. Work it out. Choose you. Choose ye this day who ye will serve. And that's God or the enemy. But if you're choosing God, then that means you're choosing you. You can't choose God and not choose you. I refuse to be impressed, faithful servant who didn't serve yourself well. Yeah, you did a lot for a whole lot of other people. What did you do for you? I mean, Natasha, go half and half. Y'all go in on that. Skip that hair appointment. We've been in the pandemic. I haven't been, and God knows, is Aisha on here tonight? I love, hey, Ms. LeBlanc, love you. I haven't been to Aisha since last March. But see, I'm in that kind of older crew, so we knew how to do our own hair. The young girls aren't into the beauty salon self-care the way we used to be, so it's not anything that needs to be done to my hair that I can't really get figured out. But I can't wait to go back to Aisha. But I'm just saying, girl, can y'all welcome youth leader NAACP Until Freedom, Ms. Tiffany D. Lofton? If you're not following her, you better. She's just doing all kinds of big old things. But so yeah, sleep, exercise. We're talking about physical self-care. That's our only goal for tonight. We got all these other categories: emotional, mental, personal, spiritual, professional. We're going to get to them. But we are talking about love you back to, we are going to, I follow you too. Stop being silly. Taking me off course. Okay. Exercise. Okay. I'm going to tell you my new jam. Because for each of these, I guess tonight I'm giving a personal story. I decided this year I had personal fitness goals. Okay. And I've been exercising some way or another for all of my life. So I'm definitely active, and my body kind of kicks back into it when I leave it alone and I start back. But when Barry's closed and I couldn't go in anymore, so I couldn't be in my red room running and then lifting and then running and then lifting and sprinting and whatever, I'm like, well, I'm not doing that anymore. I started paying attention to my body. I couldn't go to my hot yoga place, but I could do my yoga still. And I started to value stretching because I recognize that I carry so much stress and tension during the day that I would really serve my body best, even if I'm still getting in a workout, still getting in some cardio, staying active with the kids. But the thing that serves me most is if when I wake up in the morning and I have that Peloton app. I think it costs like $20 a month, whatever, but it's not just for the bike because I don't even like doing the bike. Not saying nothing against it, but I don't. But it has stretching, running, weight training, strength training, and cycling, and some more stuff. It has all kinds of different classes. I wanted to get into how I could do a full body stretch in 10 minutes, how I could do an upper body stretch in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, how if I had 30 minutes to burn, I could spend it like I did today on hips, thighs, and just really, because all in here, this, like when I start driving, have to drive in traffic again, it's like my shoulders come right up, like. And so figuring that out and learning this and how to do one over the other and then meet your hands and come up. Can y'all do that? And then do it the other way. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm doing that easily now. It used to not be easy, but I'm just saying, even right now, I feel this stretch. Lord, I feel it down to my pinky toe. Just here I am still while I'm talking to you. But you honor yourself with that. So when you start learning and getting those stretches down and things you can do, 90-degree stretches with your legs, and if your back is out of whack, and just sticking your arm out in front of you and bending your hand this way to stretch this part of your arm, which probably is getting no workout from all that time you're spending at the computer, and then do it this way to stretch this part of your arm. You'd be surprised that with that $2 bag of Epsom salt, child, please, you will have a new outlet, new lease on life. You'll be thinking different. You might even like your husband again. You never know what the benefit could be from stretching and a warm bath. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to help. This is for women. See, the men are on here, but they're being very quiet, and I appreciate that. They honored our space tonight, but I want them to hear it. I really do. Because if men could maybe give women the space to have space, the dividends from a rested woman, from an exercising woman, from a healthy eating woman, from a healthy living woman, they think they got something. Now, what could you have if you just give space for the queen to be on the throne for a minute? before she declares her throne for herself. And you can't negotiate it, bruh. Okay, I'll leave that alone. Okay, get a massage. I'm gonna run through the other two quickly, but we're still, again, talking about physical self care. And I understand there may be some of you on here who, when I say get a massage, you're like, with what money? That sounds like not just a luxury, but it sounds like something frivolous and extra to do. But there's all kinds of science and scripture. They are congruent about this behind the need for non sexual touching, healthy touching that is intimate but not relational intimacy, not sexual touching. Because you can get a massage from your mate, but there's something attached to it, right? Something's supposed to come behind that. I hope it ain't no kids on here. Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay, there's expectations, good and bad. I'm not saying that it's something you wouldn't be interested in, but that is completely different. That's completely different than having trusted professional hands on you. And look in the chat, y'all, where they're talking about, for some people, your health insurance covers it, and you may not even know that. So check that out. Having healing hands on you that can work in your tissue. I'll never forget my spiritual father, Senior Pastor Bishop Staples, talked about how and he said this publicly, so in a sermon, so I'm not talking out of turn. When he would go to a town for a conference or something, he would schedule a massage, and especially if he was going to Dallas, if he was doing a conference for something or attending something for Bishop Jakes, he had this one masseuse, this massage therapist that he would go to, and she would say, like with her German accent, the issue is in the tissue. The issue. Some of that stuff we're carrying can get worked out with a safe touch. And I want to invite you, if you are on here right now, and I know that for many of us, we've been in this pandemic so long that there are all kinds of things that have happened in households. You may be dealing with domestic violence that has increased because you haven't had an outlet. You haven't been able to go to a job. You haven't been able to go to a church. You haven't been able to go to a friend's house. Or you may be in a type of environment that, though not physically dangerous, is emotionally toxic. And you may not have a safe space for that. Or you may know somebody who doesn't have a safe space. DM me. I will make sure the information gets to you so that you can get the help you need, because I don't want to bring that up in what we're talking about right now, because it's not something you can just hit and quit. But I do want to say that I honor you, and I recognize that many of our sisters are going through those things, and that there is help available to you or to your sister, to your niece, to your daughter, to whomever. And there are many women on here and me who want to make sure that you get what you need. But even if you're not in that toxicity, sis, you can be single and in a home by yourself which means there's been no touch for too long, and it is necessary. So massage works toxins out of your body. Massage is safe in touching and loosening your muscles. And it is another one of those things where you can check off a box where you did something that is just for you. It ain't about nobody else. It is for your own good. Same as your exercise, same as your dieting, same as your prayer space, your meditation space. Yes, other people ultimately get the benefit. But first and foremost, hear me, self-love. Okay, that's massage. Two more. Enjoy physical intimacy. Listen, boot boot, if you got it, work it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's good for you. It is. It is. If you are in a safe, loving, consensual, intimate relationship with another and you enjoy it, you'll live longer, and so will your mate. So, do what you do, boo. I'm gonna get off of that because the church mother's gonna get me. Physical intimacy like hugs and holding hands. Physical intimacy like hugs and holding hands. And see, that's a brother in here. Y'all supposed to be quiet. But I'm going to recognize what you're saying, neighbor, because he says don't ever stay in a toxic relationship. That's true, but there are ways and times and processes in order to exit one. And so what women need to do is trust their gut and find a safe space to talk about things and develop a plan and an exit strategy. So it's not enough to figure out, if you didn't know it, that you're in what would be defined as an emotionally abusive or physically abusive or verbally abusive or otherwise toxic environment, and just try to get out, because that's how women end up dead. Okay? And that's not what we want. We want something that is thought out and planned and strategic with backup, because there's so many women who are alone making these decisions. Now, if your life is in danger that very day and you got to run to the police station and then keep running, then keep running, then keep running, and you need to be in shelter and then find other ways, do so. And as I said, DM me. But what I don't want you to do is rush. And then end up back and in a worse scenario. Okay? Enjoy physical intimacy. See, I just said enjoy physical intimacy, period. But my notes actually say enjoy physical intimacy like hugs and holding hands. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we? See what I'm saying? So, that can be with your good girlfriend. You have no idea, unless you're on here and it's you, how many people go days upon months, upon years without hugs, without the touch of a hand, just in consolation for a bad day, without being able to walk with someone arm in arm, because they live so much of their life alone. And I'm not saying that it has to be that way, nor am I saying that you can't be healthy when you're in that lane. But God doesn't desire isolation for you forever. And he who like wants friends has to be friendly, right? So you may have to put yourself out there and recreate that space. If your mama's gone or not close by you, or your daddy's gone or not close by you, or you never had that type of relationship with mama or daddy or sister or brother, but you recognize that that's a need, then you may have to cultivate those relationships so that you don't starve. And you can pay attention to your own body. Tracy Ellis did this video, Tracy Ellis Ross, a few months, pandemic time, child. And she was just talking about massaging your feet and your hands and the way that you can just honor your body, just like with a little oil or no oil, and just taking the time. Might be 5 minutes just to figure out and check in. Like when I'm checking in with my arm right now, there's the trainer, one of my trainers that I follow calls it a smudgy space. That's where you touch it and it's like, dig in there. Why is it feeling like that? And don't give me the you don't have time for this stuff. I'm doing it while I'm talking to y'all. And you listen to me talk to you, which means you could be doing the same thing. Check in. Take these wrists around. Take this neck around. Side to side. Figure out what's going on with this body. Check in with you. And then we're going to do the same check-in. You're going to check in with your spirit. Check in with your mind, right? Check in with that business, the growing business, the dying business, the not yet born business. Check in and then stay in. I put myself back in school this January. I'm a lifelong learner for sure, but I kind of officially took on a new teacher, and I love when there's a new teacher that's making me, and I posted about that just maybe one post ago, that, I'm learning, relearning, unlearning, learning, relearning, unlearning. I'm open to that. So my affirmation is I'm so thankful to God that now I am learning, relearning, unlearning whatever is necessary so that I can continue to create the life that I want. Not the life mama and them wanted for me. Not the life everyone may expect from me. Sorry, Busters. The one that I want. My values. My mores. Okay? Whew. That was a lot for tonight. But we finished. Women's History Month. Let's stay alive and healthy and joyful and peaceful and safe long enough to make some history. Are you a history maker, woman? What do you have to contribute to this world, sis? What are you suppressing while you're so busy taking care of the cares and the concerns of the day? Are you ignoring the one person who was between you and getting it done? Because the only enemy of your progress is you. The only one who can stop you is you. This is like manifest destiny. You're going to get there if you don't quit, if you don't kill yourself, if you don't give up on yourself, if you don't decide that failing is a better option. You have it. Whatever it is. If you can conceive it in your head, you can have it in your hand. Y'all quote me on that. If you can conceive it in your head, you can have it in your hand. So I want you to take all those big old dreams out of your head space and stick them in your heart space where you can't let go of them anymore, and then push them out. Manifest. And I'll be doing the same thing with you. I will, because I got a made up mind about this thing. And that comes from a heart, because out of the mouth, the heart speaks. And that's the mind-heart connection. Line it up. Put it on paper. But just for now, until we meet again, and I don't know when that is because I'm not organized enough to tell you when we're doing the next phase. But just for now, get out a piece of paper tonight, middle of the night, I know it is. Tomorrow, maybe during your quiet time. Make some quiet time, even if it's just 10 minutes, and put on your piece of paper your physical self-care goals in the areas that we talked about, right? So regular medical checkups, eating healthy, regular sleep, exercise, getting a massage, enjoying physical intimacy like hugs, holding hands, etc. Those are our lanes. Make yourself some notes and some commitments and some promises. Decide that you're going to do better. Decide the ways that things are going to change, because what's between now and you doing it differently is your decision. That's the only thing. The rest of it can get worked out. I double dog dare you to decide on a healthier path and see. The universe will conform to your decision. The solutions, the ways will be made for your decision. The money will be provided for your decision. You decide that you're open to receive people into your life, they'll come. I'm through because I'm getting excited and it's already late. Thank you so much for staying with me, for listening, for sharing space. Please go under one of these posts. I'm going to post this. Go under there or go elsewhere in social media and share your thoughts, what you learned, etc. If Roland was on here, he would tell me that I should have put my Cash App in the comments. I'm not, though, because it really is a free offering. But if you want to support Mo Time, if you want to support what we're doing, then I am on Patreon. And you can support monthly there, because we're going to have offerings and interviews and all kinds of exciting things. Or you can do 1-time, 2-time, 3-time donation to my Cash App, which is $Mo Press. Or you can take in the information that I've given you and share it with someone else. And that will be of so much value that you used it yourself and shared it. So please do. And tag me about what you learned and message me if you have a question or a concern or something that you want us to talk about when we get to the next area, which is going to be psychological. And I'm going to have a guest because I'm not a clinical medical expert. I know my own brand of I thought I was losing my mind, but beyond that, and fighting my own way back, I ain't got nothing for you. So, but I know that all those physical areas that we touched affect your psychological, okay? So get with this physical health, do what we can do, and then I'll bring someone in to join in the conversation. And it'll be somebody real, real good. Y'all know, come on now. I'll go in my book and dig deep. I love you. God bless you. Praying for you. Thank God for you. Have a great week. I pray God keeps you safe and your family safe until we meet again. Go prosper.